First up is the media's reaction to Donald Trump's new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt. The left pretends to be a champion of women until they find one who is a conservative. Once that happens, they love nothing more than tearing down women with the most petty and vacuous of insults.
And you would think, ABC, having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit, would think not to engage in conspiracy theories about assassination attempts, but I guess that's too much to ask from The View. I mean, I got to ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that.
What do you get when Karoline Leavitt wakes up and decides to legally body slam The View again? Total chaos and a financial migraine for daytime TV's loudest table. That's right, she's unleashed another lawsuit so big it might need its own area code. Could this be the final blow to the show's already shaky foundation? Are we about to see Joy Behar start a side hustle selling crocheted wine cozies just to pay the legal bills? Don't blink. This drama is hotter than a Real Housewives reunion gone wrong.
Leavitt appears to be a fierce operator, but she's also 27 and arguably quite glamorous. So of course, the kind and progressive voices at The View reacted to her appointment like this.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though.
Karoline Leavitt just did what most wouldn't dare. She waltzed straight into the chaos of daytime TV, picked the loudest table in the room, and hit them with yet another lawsuit. That's right, she's back at it, suing the sequence off the set of The View. Apparently, one courtroom smackdown wasn't enough to convince the producers to rethink their drama-fueled business plan.
And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a great thing for the American people.
Turns out Karoline isn't just tired of liberal media spin. She's practically made it her brand to drag it into court with the same energy most people use to drag a muddy dog into the car. And with this latest lawsuit, it looks like she may have finally hit a nerve. The View isn't just annoyed, it's officially rattled.
And the abuse continued.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
So what lit the fuse on this legal fireworks show? Apparently, Karoline hit her breaking point after yet another episode where The View served her up as their daily outrage entree. You know the formula: 5 hosts, 2 mugs, and an endless supply of smug. But unlike the rest of us who just roll our eyes and scroll on, Karoline fired back with legal paperwork. And this one's not just a jab, it's a lawsuit so massive it could probably be seen from space.
You'll deal with these kind of crazy questions from the White House podium. How do you plan to deal with it?
Yes, I absolutely will. I feel prepared to do that. I've been facing the media now, speaking on behalf of President Trump on the campaign trail for the past couple of years. And we are expecting the media to be hostile. However, Kaylee, if you do talk to a lot of these reporters off the record, they will tell you they look forward to more press transparency and access. And while we will expose the fake news when they are fake, we will hold them accountable for their lies and smears of President Trump. I can also assure assure the American people that they're going to be hearing directly from the leader of the free world.
Now here's where it really gets spicy. This lawsuit isn't just Karoline Leavitt being offended. It's about alleged defamation, calculated reputation damage, and what her legal team calls a targeted smear campaign wrapped in morning show giggles. Think, lighting a match in a candle shop, then blaming the fire on the vanilla bean scent. Her legal move? Cold, calculated, and reportedly built on a mountain of receipts. Karoline isn't clapping back on Twitter. She's coming for The View's entire ecosystem. Not just the hosts, but the suits, the crew, and maybe even the poor intern who fetches the coffee. And the financial fallout? Insiders claim ABC is sweating through another budget crisis. Legal fees spiraling, insurance rates spiking, and the word settlement getting whispered more than Joy Bihar's punchlines.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China even higher.
Behind the cameras, it's chaos in couture. Staffers are reportedly tiptoeing around the set like subpoenas are rigged to every doorknob. Morale? Picture a confetti cannon going off during an IRS audit. Sure, Joy might still be cracking jokes on air, but insiders say the budget is bleeding faster than the show's ratings. Promo shoots? Suddenly vanishing. Guest stars? Quietly ghosting. Even the craft services table looks like it's been on a diet. While the crew scrambles, Karoline Leavitt is center stage, turning this legal saga into a political masterclass. Her precision? Think courtroom symphony, not cable news tantrum. She's being celebrated by conservatives as the woman who finally silenced the screeching panel without raising her voice. Just some sharp-edged legalese and airtight filings. And this isn't performance art, it's fiscal warfare. Her team isn't just out for headlines. They're compiling evidence, citing a pattern of televised character attacks cloaked in entertainment. If they win, it's not just about scoring a check. It's about dismantling the show's foundation, brick by brick. ABC might be plastering on smiles, but behind closed doors, it's all cold sweat and crisis PR. Legal fees climbing, insurers squirming, and ad partners reportedly eyeing the exits.
First of all, the Democrat Party has gone woke, and now they have gone broke. They have their lowest approval ratings ever, and they are rallying around two of the most far-left leaders in their party, AOC and Jasmine Crockett. So that tells you the current state of the Democrat Party.
Some brands are reportedly less than thrilled to see their logos popping up next to what might become Exhibit A in a headline-grabbing courtroom drama. And while The View scrambles to manage damage control, Karoline Leavitt's online presence is going nuclear. Every time a new filing hits the court, her follower count ticks up, donations surge, and comment sections light up like a 4th of July sparkler stand. She's no longer just making the news, she is the news. Her feed is now a high-octane mix of legal fireworks and iced coffee-fueled updates. Conservative voices are hailing her as the new face of media takedown culture. No screaming matches, just subpoenas. While others rant into microphones, Karoline's team is crafting legal missiles aimed straight at daytime TV royalty. And ratings? Well, let's just say they're heading south, with court drama looming like a chandelier on frayed rope. The once glitzy show now feels more like a brand risk than a broadcast staple. Advertisers that used to line up are reportedly backing away slowly, because nothing says bad optics like sponsoring a segment that ends up in a defamation case. One insider even joked that the next big ad spot might be for a prepaid legal hotline. Meanwhile, Karoline isn't tapping out, she's ramping up. Word is her legal squad is reviewing old footage, time-stamping every potential jab and insult, possibly preparing to unload even more lawsuits in the coming months.
Oh, that you're walking into hostile territory, right?
Certainly do. And look, I think I'm well prepared for that. And I'm incredibly honored that President Trump has instilled confidence in me to speak on his behalf behind the White House podium. It's been an honor to have a front row seat to the greatest political comeback in history. And as you mentioned in your monologue, Sean, President Trump is putting together a brilliant cabinet of fantastic America First fighters, from Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who are going to cut the waste out of our federal bureaucracy, to Susie Wiles, who is going to serve as the first female chief of staff in history. Take that, Mark Cuban, to Tom Homan. No one better to secure the border than him.
Her goal? A long-term reckoning with what she calls the Mean Girls clique of daytime TV's makeup empire. So what if she actually wins? Let's just say canceled might take on a whole new meaning. If the damages come anywhere near what her legal team is demanding, The View could be facing a future with fewer hosts, fewer advertisers, and way fewer chances to throw shade without lawyers stepping in. The real twist? Leavitt has perfected the balancing act of villain in one corner and hero in another. To The View's loyal viewers, she's the nightmare hiding under the table. But to her supporters, she's a powerhouse, a legend with a lawsuit in hand. This isn't just about optics, it's strategic branding. She's not running from the drama, she's cashing in on it. If you thought this was fueled by ego, think again. Karoline's moves are cold, calculated chess plays. Each lawsuit is a campaign flyer. Each legal win boosts her influence. She's crafting a resume that reads less conservative commentator and more media terminator with a briefcase. While The View hopes to weather the storm, Leavitt is already gearing up for round two. This isn't just a reaction to one bad segment. It's an attempt to tear down what she calls a decades-old system that's gotten away with character assassination disguised as hot takes and harsh studio lights.
I think it's insulting that you are trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press. You're asking me for what the president's justification is for these tariffs. It's not up to you. You're not the president, Gabe.
To hire a spokesperson just so that Elon Musk doesn't put out tweets that then confuse federal workers.
Are my press briefings not good enough for you, Jack?
Karoline Leavitt didn't just throw down a lawsuit, she launched an entire political brand. Courtrooms, her new TikTok stage. Depositions, long-form content, lit by the harsh glow of fluorescent lights. Every hearing turns into another episode of the Karoline Leavitt saga, packed with fiery headlines, conspiracy-fueled commentary, and meticulously crafted Instagram stories full of coffee, scorn, and constitutional chaos. And it's paying off. Her social media numbers are juiced up like an 80s bodybuilding contest. Followers climbing faster than inflation, engagement skyrocketing, and her donation page buzzing more than The View's live audience. Forget traditional ads. Karoline's legal battles are the viral marketing campaign, starring her as both the relentless warrior and the misunderstood victim. She's suing her way into the hearts of every Fox News intern with Wi-Fi and ambition. Conservative media is gobbling her up like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet on a Friday night. They've practically carved her name into a marble monument, right between Ronald Reagan and a tuxedoed bald eagle. She's become more than a person. She's an icon, the living embodiment of polished outrage. Leading the charge against liberal media's overreach, armed only with court documents and an Instagram filter that makes her look like she just stepped out of a halo. And the scariest part for her critics? She's not yelling. She's letting her lawsuits do all the shouting.
If you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about. Because President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient. He campaigned across this country with Elon Musk, vowing that Elon was going to head up the Department of Government Efficiency, and the two of them, with a great team around them, were going to look at the receipts.
Here's where the tables really flip. Usually, The View is the one making headlines, turning guests into viral sensations by roasting them like campfire marshmallows at a Girl Scout jamboree. But now? They're the ones trending, and not for clever comebacks or memorable clips. Nope, they're going viral as a legal headache. Karoline has flipped the script. She's not just angry at the media, she's packaging that fury, branding it, and selling it back as headline-ready outrage, hashtagged and optimized for maximum impact. Meanwhile, behind the scenes at the View studio, it's less sparkle and more damage control. The financial outlook, grim. You don't need spreadsheets to know lawsuits drain budgets fast. Court dates, media storms, and eye-popping settlement risks all pile up. Add in dropping ratings, lukewarm audience reactions, and meanwhile, behind the scenes at the View studio, it's less sparkle and more damage control. The financial outlook, grim. You don't need spread. Even longtime fans notice something's off. The once sharp, biting banter now feels like carefully scripted damage control. The laughter is thinner, the applause a bit too forced. Maybe it's the crushing weight of mounting legal bills, or maybe it's just hard to be funny when you're being sued into silence by someone who isn't even yelling. Backstage, rumors of host reshuffles and hiatuses are getting louder. ABC execs who once boasted about the show's cultural clout are now crunching numbers, trying to figure out how long they can keep propping it up before pulling the plug and spinning it as evolution. And Karoline? She's not slowing down. Her legal team apparently has more binders than a Staples clearance aisle, and they're ready to open new cases at a moment's notice. If The View slips up on air, she's ready to strike faster than you can say reckless defamation. Some insiders say this is just the beginning. She's taking aim at the whole liberal media machine, playing legal whack-a-mole with the mallet in her hands. This is no longer about one talk show. It's a blueprint, a master plan for turning media outrage into political power. Karoline's lawsuits are now currency, fueling visibility and cultural dominance. The View might be the first to feel the heat, but they won't be the last. The show's slow unraveling isn't from ratings dips or network decisions. It's from a Gen Z conservative who decided if you can't beat the media, sue it into silence. To some, it might sound extreme. To her supporters, it's revolutionary. Karoline's legal crusade isn't just a headline, it's a weaponized strategy in modern political warfare. No more shouting matches, just subpoenas and settlement talks. And for now, The View is learning that the hard way. Karoline Leavitt isn't going anywhere. And if their budget keeps nosediving like this, The View might be headed straight for syndication limbo. Or worse, the daytime TV graveyard next to Montel and reruns of My. Wouldn't that be poetic? The loudest daytime talk show silenced, not by ratings, not by backlash, but by a pile of legal papers and a young woman who got tired of being the punchline. Call it karma, call it consequence, call it Karoline with a capital L for lawsuit. And maybe, just maybe, the only thing left for The View to do now is ask, does anyone know a good bankruptcy lawyer, preferably one with a sense of humor, because Karoline Leavitt just turned their whole panel into the joke, and this time, the joke's on them.